see, we are in what I believe to be one of the most budget-friendly ways to get in, you know, a four-wheel drive, manual, rally legend from the Japanese side. In my opinion, cars are getting expensive. A lot of Subaru classics are getting expensive. The Hawkeyes, I don't think ever really came down for like a genuinely nice one. So we've taken this blob eye out today to ask the question, is this the last real, true budget, or at least cost-effective way to get into one of these cars? I do believe so. Let's take this one out for a drive today, see what it's like, because the owner has just bought this car and he's 20 years old. 20 years old, and you're driving around in an STI looking WRX. Because underneath this is just a WRX, yes, but it has components that make it look like an STI. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I actually, at 20 years old, would have absolutely wet myself if I had any opportunity to even drive something like this, let alone own it. So yeah, cars have got expensive, haven't they? Really expensive, especially a lot of Japanese stuff. Japanese cars, like I'm a big fan of a Toyota Arista. I think a lot of people know that out there, and they have rocketed in price since I owned mine many years ago. These as well, many Subarus, especially classics, as I've already touched on, they had, you know, a period of time where they were cheap. They were not bad for what they were. A lot of them, yes, rusty, I do get that, but the classic has become a cult classic. Do you know what I mean? It's become such a car to have a following, and such a car that if you were to have one, you'd probably have a really nice one. Following on, the Blob Eye being the next generation along, and the Hawkeye after that, they did get cheap enough, but like everything in the Japanese sector, it has all gone absolutely bananas. It's gone insane. And this is a prime example, the car that I'm driving today, of probably what is going to be the last generation of cost-effective, if not cheap, ways of getting into one of these cars. This one I'm driving today, so a WRX on a 2004 plate, Blob Eye. I like to say Blob Eye, I think that's the right term for this generation of Subaru Impreza. It's been bought recently by the owners, I've already said. He paid just under £7,000 for it. Now, a lot of people out there that don't watch the market might think that's a lot of money, or might think it's relatively good, you know, for what it is. It's a very, very nice looking car, this. But I do believe, after looking and, you know, searching for a nicely modified, well sorted WRX, not an SCI, but a WRX, that is the cusp of how much you're going to have to pay for one. And that then follows on into me looking at, you know, STIs and maybe a wide track or an RB. Like, those cars are still loads of money. You're not getting yourself into one of those cars these days. They're just not happening. And then to look at the latter end of the market, so the car I'm in today, a more entry-level WRX, you do start to realise that they're far and few between. It's not really many of them out there that are actually worth buying. They're either got dead engines, they're rusty at the back end, whatever's going on. And as we put up to the lights, it means that you start looking at the more cost-effective ones. Now, the one I'm in today is a WRX with the STI kit on it. So you've got the STI front with the fog lights, surrounds. You still, I just still think this car is so cool, where when you're sat at, you know, where the driver is, there is the biggest scoop in front of you. Like, it is demanding your attention as you're driving down the road, just a scoop on the front of this thing. Inside, this one does have WRX STI interior, so it has the door cards, seats, various bits like that. Really, really nice interior in this one. Very clean as well. Momo steering wheel from factory. It's just, it was just such a special thing, the Subaru Impreza. We'll get onto the drive in a minute, but the owner, being 20 years old in this car, sorting out the insurance. He had an EcoBoost Fiesta prior to this, which is a huge jump up from that car to this car. This car is biblical, and I mean, listen to it. This is it's a big jump from a little Fiesta, which is a great car, up into something like this. So shout out to the owner. He I think he definitely thought, after chatting to him, I think he definitely thought, do you know what, let's see what else is in the market, let's see what I can insure, And this come up as an insurance, not bargain, because none of them are real bargains, but it was more cost effective than he realised. In fact, it was only around £300-400 more for him to get himself into this WRX than it was to insure his Fiesta. So you start thinking that way, right? You start thinking, well, if they're like 5, 6, 7 grand for a nice one, the insurance isn't loads of money as a young person if you can sort the insurance out, if you don't live in you know, the middle of somewhere where you think it's going to get stolen. Starts to become a little bit viable to actually physically have a car like this. And I love that. I love that the younger generation, 20-year-olds, are able to jump in a car like this. It's ridiculous. Open road. Let's start chatting about the drive. This one, incredibly tight. We're talking to the owner. He says it's got an exhaust system on it, so you can hear the burble from that boxer engine. Turbocharger is very pronounced, dump valve on it. You can hear turbocharger and slight dump when you're changing gear or coming off the throttle. So it has all the aspects of proper, in my opinion, proper Subaru drivability. Third gear. Absolutely planted, like every Subaru Impreza is. And this one, you know, running around standard power, you say, you know, 225 brake horsepower. I'd probably think that's about right. Just sounds so good. These Subaru Imprezas, mate, sound so good. I am going to come back to it, like, what a car to have when you're 20. Like, if I could have even dreamt of having this when I was 20, I would have been absolutely just over the moon with having something like this, tell ya. Yeah, this one, it's, you know, someone's obviously done a really good job underneath this and made sure all the bushes and everything is correct. 100,000 miles on this chassis that I'm driving today. Doesn't feel like it, if I'm honest. The gearbox is nice and tight, throttle response is really good, low down power as well from that boxer engine. Yeah. Little pop then from the exhaust. Yeah, fantastic. And do you know what? Like, I think as a young person these days, you do get a lot of people, you know, and I talk to a lot of people that are financing cars, you know, doing various things like that. It's actually slightly refreshing to see something like this come to me and, you know, be asked to take it out and shoot it for the channel, because it shows a different side to maybe Fiestas and Focuses, different side to S3s and Audis maybe that people are financing in their 20s. You know, I have done a previous review on a 19-year-old that had an S3 that for me is just madness, and we're sort of in that same realm today where we're in something that is just fantastic, and the owner's 20 and he gets to enjoy it. So with that, guys, I'm going to end today's video there. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like today's video, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Shout out to having a Subaru Impreza WRX at 20, that's mad, isn't it? And let me know in the comments below at the end of this video, do you think this is a budget-friendly way to get into the Subaru Impreza, maybe WRX, not STI community? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you all on the next one.